22 West.
We are 22 West Radio, the next wave of K-Beach. 22 West Radio is 22westmedia.com and 88.1 FM KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World.
I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
And welcome to Beyond the Ropes. I believe this is episode 62?
Yes.
Correct. Cool. So, big news after we went off the air last week, just a few hours. The votes are in, and Glenn Jacobs, a.k.a. Kane, has become the mayor of Knox County in Tennessee. After defeating Democratic nominee Linda Haney, it was widely expected that he was going to win because he leans heavily towards Republicans, and that is a Republican town. He had a 2-1 lead in the early voting before absentee voting results were reported by 8:30 p.m. A little bit about his campaign. During his campaign, he said that he would focus on things such as committed to keeping taxes low, renewed focus on quality of education, continue to attract new jobs to the area, improve our roads and infrastructure, full and absolute transparency, work to create a safer community, and a fresh outlook on limited government. So as we know, Kane's last appearance on WWE television was at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view when they wrote him out for like an injury that he actually had. And so he will take office on September 1st. That's in just a few weeks. There's no word on when he'll be back with the WWE, but he has said that he does plan on continuing his appearances for the WWE even when he takes office.
That's going to be pretty cool. Obviously, it'll probably only be like maybe pay-per-view, like one-time match or something.
Yeah, it'll probably be an appearance here and there.
The Rumble's perfect for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely, if he were to just show up for the Rumble match. And then probably like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania or something like that.
Somebody called you stunning.
Oh, thank you very much. Forgot to mention, as always, I always forget where you can find us. Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post our videos, predictions, and additional content there. And believe me, I hope to have some additional content very soon. We are currently on YouNow with the hashtag
Ask Questions.
And as always, we are on Live Me. How can you find us there?
Live Pro Wrestling Talk Show.
Cool. On Twitter, you can find me, EthanNB95.
Rob Flores Media.
And of course, YouTube, just search up Beyond the Ropes. Find our videos there. Over 60 videos uploaded. Daniel Bryan, a lot of speculation on his contract.
Yes.
The report was last week that he has still not signed a new contract.
And he better not.
I don't know.
Oh man, the
It's
possibilities.
They're still promoting, I think they're promoting him for Hell in a Cell in October, so, I mean, the card is always subject to change, so who knows if it'll be around by then, but we'll see. Total Bellas did get renewed for a 4th season, so if he were to leave, it would be interesting if they would still have him on that show, or if they were just to
that could be
write
an
him off.
independent thing between E, no?
WWE has a lot of influence. They have Kevin Dunn, who's the director of like Raw and stuff. He's an executive producer of that show. So
Because it's kind of like I like how it's interesting because once we like watch like documentaries and stuff and they reveal certain stuff behind the scenes, like for example, I didn't know that when they had, I could be mistaken, but I think it was Saturday night's main event when they had I think on NBC.
that was Saturday night.
Jesse Ventura, I guess, was commentating, and like Vince wanted to get rid of him, but it was the network that was like, oh no, he's real cool right now. Like we need him on TV.
The network has a lot of influence, and I'm sure if Daniel Bryan helps with ratings, I'm sure they would keep him around. I don't know how well the ratings are with the Total Bellas. I think they've dropped. I think Total Divas as well. Even though Total Divas is also expected to return.
I heard even the Miz's show dropped a little in ratings already.
Well, yeah, I think the first episode, after the first episode, they tend to kind of drop a little. I did catch the first episode. However, I'm currently moving, so I don't have cable. I haven't been able to watch anything the past week. But otherwise, I'd give my lengthy Ms. and Mrs. review. um, but yeah, we'll see, I guess, what the future holds for Daniel Bryan, especially with SummerSlam. He is expected to face The Miz at SummerSlam, and an 8-year rivalry that's been going on and off. So it should be a really good match. The feud has been great so far, so looking forward to that. In some other news, Daniel Bryan had a rivalry with someone else, a little feud with someone else, until they got released. Big Cass has announced his first appearance on September 21st in Big Time Wrestling under the name, I believe it is Big Kaz.
Kaz, like with a Z?
Yeah, I believe. Let me see how it's spelled over here. I lost the name here.
I guess he was waiting for that whole non-compete clause. That thing's pretty
It's
pesky.
a 90-day, non-complete compete clause.
I could have sworn
Yeah, Big
that I
Kaz.
thought that Alberto got rid of it. It was because of him, or he was able to at least get out of it just for himself, like that particular
In some
one.
cases, they could work with WWE to get rid of
he
it.
sued.
Yeah, so Big Cass is big, and then Kaz. It's instead of 2 S's, it's 2 Z's. So very
Isn't there
interesting.
Taz?
Yeah. Yeah, there's so much going on with that situation there.
That's almost just as bad as when Warrior tried to get away with saying, instead of Ultimate Warrior, just call me Warrior. I'm like, oh.
Well, he did change his name.
Yeah.
He went as far as changing his name to Warrior. So, yeah, that's crazy. But let's talk about another non-WWE news story here that involves a WWE legend, Rey Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio was reportedly and is scheduled to appear at All In, which was the big kind of independent show in Chicago happening September 1st. Reports were saying that Rey was supposed to go back to WWE very soon. He was in talks, and obviously he's in the video game 2K19. According to some news here, WWE was reported to try and stop him from appearing at that show. Yeah, so that obviously isn't happening. Rey Mysterio is scheduled to team with Rey Fenix and Bandito to take on the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi in a
I hear
six-man
he's
tag.
going to be at a Comic-Con with the original Green Power Ranger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's some crazy news that WWE tried to get him pulled from that event. So we'll talk a little bit more All In a little bit because there is more news on that. So someone that's been in the news over the last couple of weeks, controversial figure in the last couple of years, Hulk Hogan, is reportedly possibly getting an NWO reunion.
Did you see that cell phone little video?
There's been a couple of them where he kind of filmed himself, and there's been a lot of glitchiness, and even like the NWO music and the black and white kind of happens.
Everybody's hoping. I remember I read some of the comments. People are like, "Is there an app? Where do I download this?"
According to a tweet by Hulk Hogan, October 27th, there's going to be a major announcement, and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, the original members of the NWO, also tweeted that they were available that day. So it's very interesting to see what announcement they're going to make on October 27th, and if it involves the original members of the NWO.
I wonder why specifically October.
What was that?
I wonder why specifically October. I wonder if
There's-
WWE will bring back like a WCW.
That would
that's
be
it, Halloween Havoc.
that would be too late. Plus, they have the women's pay-per-view.
Oh, in that same month.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
October. It's October 28th is when they have the women's pay-per-view. So they wouldn't be announcing anything. But I would not be surprised if that were the case there. How do you think? I don't think it has anything to do with WWE. I think this is separate. I feel like they wouldn't be announcing anything if it were with WWE,
Well,
unless
what
it's
if
like a
this is
network.
yeah,
A network special.
show.
That's what I was. Maybe that could be that.
Maybe they get their own like reality type show with them, three of them, just catching up on their life.
That'd be interesting. See what they're doing. I mean, obviously Scott Hall is recovering alcoholic and
Mhm.
drug abuse. So he's kind of been going through that. Kevin Nash recently had a couple of surgeries. He's had surgeries over the years.
He's rehabilitating pretty good.
Yeah, so
working out a lot.
it'd be cool to see kind of that process. And then obviously Hulk Hogan in the last few years has dealt with some controversy. So getting back to that prominence that he once had, trying to rebuild his reputation. That would be a really good show. I don't know if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's not like they can all get in the ring right away yet. At least not Scott. I don't think he's just gonna manage.
I don't know if Scott and Nash would ever. I know Hogan wants to, but I don't think the company would let him. He's just had so many
The
injuries.
capacity that Nash is working out in, like.
I mean, maybe it'll be a very slow paced match. I would say something minimal.
Yeah,
but-
kind of like in TNA where they like teamed him up with at least Eric Young, so there's one young one that can like keep on doing all kinds, most of the work.
Mhm. Yeah, but so possible NWO news at the end of October. So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get more videos with some glitches and stuff, and find out more information later on. In some New Japan news, some very unfortunate news. Hiromu Takahashi, who is a member of a faction in Japan, New Japan Pro Wrestling, revealed that New Japan doctors believe that he will be out of action for 9 to 12 months after a botched kind of move during their show in San Francisco. Reports are saying that he suffered a broken neck, which is not fun, and it can be very serious. It ended careers and has shortened careers. I mean, you think of Edge, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle had a neck injury before his wrestling career and even during. So neck injuries are very serious, and it looks like this former IWGP junior heavyweight champion is going to be out of action for about a year, which is very unfortunate. So
When is the G1?
it's happening now. It's been
It's-
happening.
It's like ongoing, right? It's like
It's like a 2-week every day event. So all the wrestlers are having matches like every day.
wow.
Pretty much, it's an intense schedule. I don't know who's winning right now. It's a difficult. It's a long process, but I know Kenny Omega was winning. He won 5 in a row, but then he lost. I know he lost at least one.
So it's kind of like is it the Bound for Glory series?
So it's
that they used to do?
they have 2 blocks, the A block and the B block. So you have I believe it's 10 in the A and then 10 in the B, and they compete in that specific block. So everyone will face each other on the A block, and the winner of that one, whoever gets the most victories or the most points, will face the winner of the B block, and then they face off each other. The winner gets to go to the main event at Wrestle Kingdom. And if it's the IWGP World Champion, he gets to choose his opponent, in the main event. So, Kenny Omega is the current champion. I believe he might.
That's when he had that briefcase, no?
It wasn't a brief. Was it a briefcase? I don't think
There's
it
a
was.
picture where he has a briefcase and the Young Bucks have belts.
I don't think it's a
It was
briefcase.
like
It's a
while back.
trophy. I think it's a trophy. I don't think it's a briefcase.
It was like a black one. But it's like a while back. It's an old photo.
It might be something else. I don't think that was G1. I think they win a trophy, but and that's it. I could be wrong though. I know a trophy does come with it because every time they have a tournament, there's always a trophy involved. But I don't know about the briefcase. But yeah, that's happening. So I've heard some of the best matches in New Japan happen during that event. In other injury news, Matt Hardy revealed that his lower back and his pelvis have started to fuse together. After years of hitting the leg drop, it's really coming back to haunt him. And he's been, over the last few weeks, he's been teasing retirement. There's been speculation that he's not retiring, but he could be having some type of surgery to help, ease that back pain and go through some like rehab, so he wouldn't have to retire. But there's been kind of speculation that he might end up retiring, so it's kind of back and forth. He's been teasing it on social media, posting a lot of old images and a lot of images with fans. So who knows what's gonna happen there?
It's something how, Matt's the one falling apart when Jeff's been the daredevil his whole life.
Yeah, and I think the reason is because of that leg drop that Matt did for so many years. I mean, the leg drop, I think it was the leg drop off the steel cage he did on Edge that kind of really did that. Because you land on your tailbone, and there's not really a lot of protection there.
And the side effect he always does?
Yeah, it's always on his back and, like, tailbone. Jeff has done a lot of stuff, but he's not he's landing...
On his back mostly.
Yeah, he's landing on his back, and he's generally landing on someone, too. So it's not as bad. But, yeah, Matt's been landing on his tailbone, and he hasn't been doing that leg drop for a couple of years because of it. Obviously, I mean, if you see him walking, he's, not walking kind of normal. He's kind of almost waddling in a way, and it's because of that. So hopefully he does rehab, and I think he has been getting a lighter schedule, and so hopefully he won't retire that soon. If it does happen,
to remain in the tag division.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely helping. He's not having to wrestle as much, so we'll see where that goes. Hopefully it ends up very well, and maybe he takes some time off, and then he'll come back and at least feel better. Reports are saying he's able to still wrestle, but he's still in some pain. So hopefully he'll be able to overcome that.
I would have thought that Gregory Helms would have joined them, but he ended up going Ring of Honor.
Yeah, I think it's because it's a lighter schedule too. He's also older, and he might not want to travel that much. So, yeah. So hopefully we'll get some better news on Matt Hardy and some more updates very soon. He and Bray Wyatt did compete in a tag team match. I believe they might have won. I don't know on Raw, but we'll find out. I unfortunately haven't been able to watch it, so let's take a break, shall we? And we'll be right back with some more news.
Did you know that more than 20% of students on Cal State campuses experience food insecurity while in college? Cal State Long Beach is doing something to help that with the Beach Pantry, which is located on the 3rd floor of the Student Union in room 302 and is open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. and again from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Stop by for some food, snacks, and school supplies.
Hey, it's Zach Anderson Yox. I'm your sports director here at 22S Radio. We are the home of Long Beach State Athletics.
Ground ball up the middle. Hoffman to first. Long Beach State is going to the Super Regionals. First time.
Students like me get hands-on experience doing play-by-play and sports commentary, as well as engineering in the studio.
Dosky, cold strike three. Bayou pumping his fist off the mound. Dirtbags hold the lead out at 6.
Listen live at 22smedia.com or on your mobile device with the free Radio FX app. Find game dates and times at longbeachstate.com.
The music. And we are back with episode 62 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan.
I'm Rob.
As always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post videos, predictions, and additional content. We are currently on now with the hashtag
Ask questions.
And we are on Live Me.
Live pro wrestling talk show. Someone said good stuff.
Thank you very much. And of course, YouTube. Search up Beyond the Ropes and you'll find 60 episodes of Beyond the Ropes there. Some more news coming from last week's SmackDown. So last week's SmackDown drew its best rating in months with a 2.4. And it was a newsworthy show because it was the first time ever that there was only one men's match. That was between the Bar and the Usos. The rest of the show was dominated by women's matches. Becky Lynch opened up with the promo, followed by Carmella, and then Charlotte. And then Charlotte took on Carmella. Then we had, Zelina Vega versus Lana. And the rest were just promos. And so it was a female-dominated show, and it drew its best ratings in months. So congratulations. I don't know how this week's ratings were, but hopefully they were better as well. Some more news here. Looking up here, yeah, Hulk Hogan announcement we already made. So Paul Heyman was at the Performance Center last week, kind of helping out the young talent there and how to cut a promo and get a reaction from the audience. So that's really good. I saw a video of the interview he did on Monday Night Raw. It was very intense, and there may have been a tease there of a possible Roman Reigns heel turn, and a cut version of the video, that because they cut it, and I think online it was posted. But essentially, he said Brock Lesnar was at his most dangerous, and he doesn't expect Roman Reigns to beat him. And then he said, unless Roman, and then he stopped himself there and kind of walked away. So there's a definite tease that maybe Paul Heyman could be going with Roman Reigns if his allegiance with Brock Lesnar is over. So
I hear he tweaked his attire a little.
he had a bit of a beard. His eyes were bloodshot, and he was
Wow.
crying. So it was really, really solid performance. I'm not big on Paul Heyman just because I feel like he does a lot of the same stuff every week. I know a lot of people love him, and I understand why. But this promo was really, really well done. It was an interview, it wasn't a promo. He was being interviewed by Renee Young, and yeah, it was a really well done performance there. So I would say it's a really well done tease and speculation, leading to something there. In other news, obviously, last week we lost a few wrestlers. One of them was Brian Christopher Lawler, the son of the WWE Hall of Famer Jerry the King Lawler. And Jerry the King Lawler had a match against James Ellsworth, where he came out in a Grandmaster Sexy vest, which was his son's character in WWE. So he paid tribute to his son there. A very emotional moment. James Ellsworth even said he made a post on Instagram and Twitter where he said that was the most emotional match that he's ever been a part of. In more news, The Rock actually also made a post where he visited the gravesite of Brian Christopher, and he said this. Spent all week trying to process. Well, it started with Rip Brother, and then it said, spent all week trying to process the hard loss of my good bud, Brian Christopher. He became a great friend the day I stepped foot in a small wrestling territory in the South known as USWA to start my pro wrestling career. We rode together daily 1,500 miles per week, trained together at any gym we could find, ate together at any Waffle House, off the highway, wrestled together in flea markets to state fairs, shared motel rooms together, and would always dream and talk, I can't say that word, but about what life would be like once we made it to the big leagues of the WWE. Once we both finally made it to the big leagues of the WWE, nothing changed. We still did everything together, including having nightly Madden tournaments up after our wrestling matches in our motel room, and then we'd extend our competitive spirit to a rowdy game of wiffle ball. Imagine us acting like crazy wiffle ball idiots at 2 a.m. in the parking lot of a Motel 6. Our jaws would hurt from laughing so hard. Then we'd finally take our butts to bed, hit the gym in the morning, drive 200 miles to the next town to wrestle, and start the night all over again. I'll miss these times now even more. Hurts my heart to know how Brian decided to check out. I never knew him to be suicidal, but I guess sometimes the pain just gets too much for one to take. I'll miss you, man, and the times we had. Thanks for being a great friend. Thanks for being my boy. My love, light, support, and strength to Brian's father, Jerry Lawler, and Brian's mother, Kay, as well as Brian's family and friends. Signed, DJ, end quotes.
Wow, I know that I read about X-Pac being very vocal about how he was kept in solitary, how it wasn't right.
Oh, yeah.
He was in the same situation before, and he knows the mindset that a person gets in when they're locked into solitary.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate situation. Obviously, Jerry the King Lawler is fighting he believes that there might have been some foul play involved, and they're investigating that situation. So
Because he was, for a couple of days, right? He was there for quite some time already in
it was, I
solitary.
believe, it was a few days, yeah, after being arrested for DUI. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but he was arrested for something, and they definitely kept him in there for a few days. So very unfortunate. In some more news, former WWE superstar turned actor Dave Bautista has been in the news.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe he just, oh my gosh, no, I don't think he should do that.
He's been in the news for not being happy about the decision Disney made against firing former Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 director James Gunn. And now on Twitter, he said I will do what I'm legally obligated to do, but Guardians without James Gunn is not what I signed up for. It's pretty nauseating to work for someone who empowered a smear campaign by fascists, and that's how I feel.
I mean, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy, just getting a movie role in general in a Marvel comic movie, you should be grateful, and you should just focus on just yourself, your career, not anybody else.
I agree with you, and especially with this controversy, there was some. I'm not gonna get too much into it because it's not wrestling related. One and two, it's really just wrong, pretty bad. But obviously, tweets were made out, and the reason for James Gunn's firing. And I agree. I think even though the Guardians of the Galaxy cast support James Gunn and feel like he's a changed person, which is totally fine. They work with him. They know him well. That's fine. It's still kind of like you're kind of grabbing the bull by its horns and kind of poking the bear in a sense. You have a really good career here as an actor and in a Disney movie, a Marvel movie.
And his language that he used.
And you're getting very touchy there. You got to be very careful because Disney at any point in time could say we're not going to do another Guardians movie.
And then he's completely WWE, because his film
WWE
career
could
would be out of the picture.
If he gets, definitely that could be another thing. He wants to go back to WWE to retire and have a match with Triple H. That's what he said, and so that's why he has never gone back because they don't want to give him that. If he cuts ties here, who knows what he's gonna do? I mean, he's been in some other movies, but there's nothing really big as a Marvel gig. So
yeah, Drax the Destroyer will always be his biggest role in the big screen.
so far, yeah.
And even then, like, he hasn't had that many great scenes until the recent movie that this came out.
The Avengers was definitely kind of. I mean, he's been kind of had that comedic role for the first two Guardian movies, but it's definitely the Avengers where he kind of had that role that people really like.
It's the whole thing that he wants vengeance on Thanos. And I mean, you gotta wait till the next movie to go ahead and see more of Drax because it's gonna be about vengeance.
Right. So it's like, I think the Avengers, that one is done, or mostly done. So it's a matter of the third Guardians of the Galaxy and what they do with that. Because he said he wants James Gunn's script. He doesn't want to do the movie if it's not his James Gunn script that he has. However, with the firing of James Gunn, that script could be completely thrown away. So we'll have to wait and see.
So this James guy, what is he, just a scriptwriter? He's that
He was the director.
and all
He wrote, I don't know if he wrote it all, but I know he wrote part of it, and he did direct the first two, and he did have some influence in the Infinity War movie during the Guardian scenes.
Yeah, I mean, in the movie business, I mean, a script's gonna get changed so many times anyway.
Right.
So Batista is kind of pushing it.
Yeah, and they credit James Gunn for the success of the Guardians movies, which is, I mean, true. If he wrote the script and directed it, obviously he should have some success. Credit for that. But at the same time, it's like there's a certain point. There could be other directors that could do it just as well. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. Hopefully Batista doesn't get himself into any trouble there by being very vocal, but we'll find out and see. In some other news, more all-in news, and as I mentioned, will be available to watch on TV or on iPay-per-view. So it was confirmed that the show will be live on pay-per-view via traditional cable outlets, and it'll air via iPay-per-view through Fight TV and Honor Club, which is a Ring of Honor streaming service. This means that the fans that cannot be there in person will be able to watch from the comfort of their own home. Furthermore, they announced that the first hour will air on WGN. The WGN airing will be called All In 0 Hour and will air at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that'll be kind of the pre-show version of, that pay-per-view.
Wow.
They're gonna have an all-out kind of. It's called All Out. It's a. What is it called? The tailgate party? Excuse me. With hosted by Flip Gordon, and a number of appearances by the wrestlers there.
You know what I noticed is that those Bullet Club members that they did turn on, they've been taking a lot of photos lately with Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, and Finn.
Oh really?
Yeah, on social media.
Who?
Remember the ones that were like the one that would like paint himself, and the other one from
Tamatanga?
Yeah,
Oh.
they've been taking pictures with.
Well, the reason is, I think it's because they're original Bullet Club.
Mhm.
So that's the problem what they have with the current Bullet Club members, Kenny Omega, Cody, is they're kind of doing their own separate, the Elite thing. And so, yeah, they like the old Bullet Club better, essentially, with, Finn and
So
Gallows and
many
Anderson.
merch possibilities.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, yeah, there's a lot of turmoil between the Bullet Club members there. So, before we go to a break in a few minutes, some more news. Former WWE superstar Tori Wilson in the news had an issue with the TSA in Orlando over the week. She revealed on Twitter that let's see the post here. Officer Bracero, #Orlando TSA, I thoroughly enjoyed the very detailed pat-down your female officer gave me, and watching you hold, swab, and look at every place in my purse slowly feels dirty now with your loving energy. Apparently they went through her stuff because she apparently giggled at some point, and so they went through her stuff. And I guess they were scared of her 3-pound dog. That's what she said.
Wow.
So pretty crazy stuff that, even former WWE superstars still go through with their
Yeah.
travel. Obviously, we heard news of lost luggage all the time, and, that kind of stuff. So it's very intense, very unfortunate.
That person doesn't have a job no more.
Maybe, who knows?
Oh,
I mean,
no.
these airports, they'll keep, who
Not
knows?
with people of notoriety that have such a big following and fan base, all it takes is people petitioning afterwards.
Yeah, maybe, so. Another injury to report. There's actually another two, actually, but I'm going to report this one first because it's the older news. Let me see if I can get this loaded up here. I'm loading up the notes here. Matt Riddle, who was just recently signed to the WWE, he hasn't made an appearance yet, but it was revealed that he was signed, was injured over the weekend during a hardcore match with Shane Strickland in Philadelphia.
Yep, that'll do it to him. Hardcore?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Riddle's mom posted a photo of his hand that showed he suffered a nasty cut on his finger. She noted that it was a deep cut that took the tip of his pointer finger off. That
Oh.
sounds disgusting. And has been pulled from independent bookings because of the cut, but he did wrestle on a show the following day against Austin Theory in Massachusetts. He is expected to make his debut at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4, which is in less than 2 weeks. Obviously, since he didn't break any bones, this is not a serious injury, but he is expected to make his debut very soon. So that's good. I thought it was worse than anticipated, but it's not. So, good for him, I guess. We'll see him in NXT hopefully very soon. Another big All-In match announced. I guess just All-In news all week, pretty much. I'll go through the card and then we could go take a break. If this gets loaded. There's always some some Wi-Fi issues in this
Oh, yeah.
in the studio. So these are the matches. So part of the all-in, I guess, 0 hour show. It'll be the Briscoe brothers taking on SoCal Uncensored, in a tag team match, and then the over the budget battle royal taking place. Jordan Grace, Moose, Rocky Romero, Colt Cabana, Ethan Page, and more to be announced, where the winner will take on Ring of Honor World Champion Jay Lethal for the title on the main card of that show later that night. Tessa Blanchard will take on Chelsea Green and Britt Baker and Madison Rayne in a fatal 4-way match. Christopher Daniels will take on Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell, obviously the Arrow star. He's Arrow. So they've been going kind of feuding on the Young Bucks show, the Being the Elite YouTube series every Monday. So that's funny. Rey Mysterio and Phoenix and Bandito will take on the Golden Elite members Matt Jackson, Nick Jackson, obviously the Young Bucks, and Kota Ibushi, Joey Janela with Penelope Ford will take on Hangman Page. Kazuchika Okada, the former IWGP champion, will take on Marty Scurll. And for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, it'll be Nick Aldis, the champion, defending against Cody Rhodes, with Brandy Rhodes in his corner.
That belt has to go to Cody.
I would think so. And someone who hasn't been announced for a match is Kenny Omega. So that's interesting. We got less than a couple of weeks to go, so...
I would say he'd have to be involved in Cody's match, probably. If he's not in any other match...
He's going to be in a match, because he's been promoted since the beginning, so... I would think it's going to be a major match. Maybe
Jericho.
Pentagon. Pentagon's been announced for the show, but he doesn't have a match. I could see that happen. Those are too big.
Shouldn't they both be heels? Like,
Omega's a face. And Pentagon's a face too, actually.
oh,
In Impact, he's a face. So, and Lucha Underground, he's a face too. So, yeah, they're both faces right now. I mean, and it's also like, it's an indie show, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, they're two fan favorites. So, we'll take another commercial break, and we'll be back as I try to load up some more news stories here.
Quiet on the set. Can we please have quiet on the set?
Hey, I'm Rob Flores, the host of the Golden Spotlight. Join me as I showcase a variety of guests.
I am what they refer to as an exoneree.
Hi, I'm Carla Perez, otherwise known as Rita Repulsa, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a television series.
As people have told me before, like, you're really funny, you should try stand-up. And that's probably how every comedian starts.
Took an EMT course 6 months later, and the next thing I know, I was a firefighter.
Then I do all my own music videos, I edit my music videos, I write the concepts for the most part, I direct the filming of it, etc. So I have a blast with it.
Every week, someone steps into the spotlight, and it's always a new story. So join me every Monday at 2 p.m. on 22 West Radio. You never know what we have in store.
And we are back with episode 62 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan. I'm Rob. As always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post videos, predictions, and additional content. You're currently on You Now with the hashtag.
ask questions.
And on Live Me.
Live Pro Wrestling Talk Show.
And of course on YouTube. Search up Beyond the Ropes. Some more New Japan news. You mentioned Tama Tonga. We were talking about him a little earlier. Apparently, New Japan is going to take some disciplinary action against him. So since splitting with the Bullet Club, Tonga has been picking up steam on social media, most notably in some Twitter beef with Roman Reigns. But apparently, at a recent G1 card event, Tonga grabbed a fan by the throat after the match, and the incident was not part of the show.
If he's not fired, that will be a shock, because I still find it unfair that Drew McIntyre was, fired in Japan before from another promotion, and if that action can go unpunished, then I mean, all Drew McIntyre did was lay on the ice cream freezer
That's right.
for like a picture for
That's right.
fun.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's different in Japan, so who knows?
I mean, it was in Japan, but it was a different promotion. But still.
Yeah. New Japan Pro Wrestling statement. Here, this is what they say. Quote: NJPW takes actions taken by our wrestlers seriously. In light of recent inappropriate conduct by Tamatanga, including SNS usage, the company has decided to take disciplinary actions against said wrestlers and will issue updated guidelines to all wrestlers. So I haven't heard any news on what has been happening, so I guess we'll have to wait and see more to find out. But yeah, you really shouldn't be grabbing any fan, unless it's obviously a planned, thing. But no fan goes to a show to get choked, pretty much.
Sometimes that's gotten people fired. I think
That could get you sued. That would get you a lawsuit.
I forgot who was involved in a bar one. I don't know if Gregory Helms was there with Jericho.
Yeah, that was a thing,
Yeah.
and I think Gregory Helms was fired
Wow.
because of it. Jericho, obviously a bigger star, was not, but he was reprimanded, I'm sure. So Mae Young Classic news. It will feature 32 women from around the world and will begin taping. It actually began taping yesterday. They had like the Tournament of Champions where they introduced all the entrants into that tournament. The shows will be airing Wednesday, September 5th, immediately following NXT, and will air every Wednesday night until the two wrestlers remain, and the finals will obviously take place on October 28th at the WWE Evolution pay-per-view, which is the first ever all-women's pay-per-view in WWE. Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix are seen filming Bracketology in Orlando, so that's kind of giving you a background on these wrestlers. So that'll begin, I believe, next week, or no, I believe it begins like the end of the month, or September 5th. And then going from there, they'll have the tournament. The commentators on the booth will be Michael Cole, Beth Phoenix, and Renee Young.
Michael Cole.
Yeah, Michael Cole is doing commentary. So this is historic because this is the first time in WWE history that there are two women on the commentary booth at the same time.
I thought it was everything all female.
No, Michael Cole is doing commentary. He's still the play-by-play, and then Mauro Ranallo is doing bracketology with Beth. So it's still. I know the announcer is going to be female, and I don't know about the referees. I think that'll probably be mixed. But yeah, it's still. Michael Cole is still doing commentary. But good for Renee Young. She did some commentary in NXT a couple of years ago, and she hasn't done any since, so it's very good. It's also some breaking news that she'll be actually filling in for Jonathan Coachman on Monday. She's going to be doing some commentary for Monday Night Raw, so that should be really exciting. She'll join Corey Graves and Michael Cole there. So, obviously Beth Phoenix was the commentator for the Mixed Match Challenge, which was on Facebook earlier this year, so she has also some experience there.
Did you see the Beth Phoenix on the dinner for three, the table for three?
Table for Three? No, I have not seen it yet.
That was pretty good.
Who is it with?
Natalia?
Talia and...
Nia Jax, I believe.
Yeah, Nia Jax.
Yeah?
I haven't seen it yet.
I can't believe Natty was talking about, I guess, because how I guess they pre-recorded those quite some time back.
It's usually it's typically around WrestleMania weekend because that's when everyone's there.
So she talks about how apparently her cat Two Paws peed all on her dress.
That's hilarious.
So she needed to borrow one from Beth.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture that they posted where she was wearing the same dress. That was funny.
She has too many cats. Obviously, her clothes are going to get messed up probably.
Yeah, there's 6 cats, I think. I think she has 5 or 6 cats. More unfortunate news. There's a lot of injury news this past week. Aleister Black, the former NXT champion, suffered an injury in Vegas when he was crotched by Tommaso Ciampa. He had a groin injury. He underwent groin surgery, but it was revealed that it turns out it's a lot worse or more serious than expected. He will indeed miss the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn match.
Ooh. You know, that's so weird. Cause when is Takeover?
Less than 2 weeks, so I believe next week.
It's weird because there was a radio commercial I heard 2 days ago, but when they advertised, they said Aleister Black is the champion.
Yeah, the card was subject to change. I don't know if he was gonna win the title back. I don't think he was, truthfully, but anyway, it was revealed yesterday during NXT. I don't know, did you what or?
Yeah, he was in a match, right?
He was in a match with Johnny Gargano, which ended in a scuffle, and that led into a triple threat match that was announced. Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa defending the title, and Aleister Black. About an hour after the show ended, WWE sent out an alert saying that Aleister Black was attacked or found unconscious in the parking lot. So William Regal, they shot a video where William Regal gets the news. He walks outside. As he walks out the door, coming inside was Johnny Gargano. And then as William Regal walks by, near Aleister Black, you see the Undisputed Era in a car, listening to their own theme music, by the way, which is hilarious, driving away. And you see Aleister Black unconscious. So it's really leaving it open to who attacked Aleister Black, whether it was Undisputed Era or Johnny Gargano, who was seen walking inside the building, or Heavy Machinery was there filming also a video there, trying to check in on Aleister Black. So this was their way, I guess, of writing off Aleister Black to miss the show because he's not going to be able to make it. So
much for them building it up as the first in history a triple threat for the heavyweight title.
They announced it, but that's not going to happen anymore. So we'll be seeing that another Gargano Ciampa match, which should be really good if it's anything like their first two matches.
Johnny has to win the belt now.
I don't know. We'll give it on our predictions episode next week. I believe it's next week. So
yeah.
Our predictions episode. We have NXT and obviously SummerSlam to discuss. So some big news there. One last bit of news here. Two last bits of news. I forgot about this. I just read this morning. More injury news.
Wow.
Jason Jordan.
Didn't he just barely come back from one?
His neck injury was worse than expected. And apparently he's not coming back anytime in the near future. It's undetermined
it's
when.
Liability. I don't think they're gonna want him to come back to the ring.
I don't know exactly what it is, but he was originally rumored to be reuniting with Chad Gable for American Alpha. That was rumored, and apparently that has been kind of put in the back burner because they don't know when he's expected to come back. Yeah, so very unfortunate news there. Yeah, a lot of injuries. Very unfortunate that most of our news has been injury related. Hopefully everyone recovers very soon, is able to deal with the other injuries. But we'll see. We have a few minutes left, and so I wanted to discuss this. I wanted to talk to you about this off the air, but since we got some time, and I think it'd be really fun to discuss. I've always mentioned we wanted to do some more stuff on Facebook, and we're always trying to do innovative stuff for our show. We're always changing things up here every time we get an opportunity to. So I was wondering if you would be interested in this idea of doing kind of this get our Facebook followers more engaged by doing kind of a little bit of a fantasy draft between you and I.
Uh-huh.
So one of us would be Monday Night Raw, one of us would be SmackDown, and we will do a draft live here on the air where we pick however many wrestlers. We'll pick, obviously some from Raw, SmackDown, and a couple from NXT, maybe 205 Live. And we'll do a live draft on the air. And then on Facebook every week, we'll each have our own show, and we'll do kind of our own mock show on Facebook, kind of giving like what matches and winners and, storylines that go on.
Cool.
So
yeah, I'll take SmackDown.
Okay, you can have SmackDown. You can make it 3 hours. I don't care if you want to. It doesn't matter. You can have But essentially, we'll do our own draft. You know, we get to pick our superstars. I'll kind of decide the rules over the weekend, and then I'll send you. And then we'll each decide live on the air. We'll go back and forth. I guess whoever goes first can, we'll do like a coin toss, and then we'll decide. I'll pick someone, you pick someone, go back and forth and all that. So we'll decide details over the weekend. I'll send you like what we can do, and then live on the air maybe next week. We'll do a live draft, and on the air, and then moving forward, we'll do the stuff on Facebook, kind of doing our own
And this
show.
is just people that are currently under contract.
Currently on Raw, SmackDown, and then maybe I was thinking maybe we'll do like 5 each from NXT. Not like the entire roster. Obviously that'd be too much. But like 5 picks from NXT and maybe 3 picks from 205 Live or something like that. So something like that. I was thinking. Nothing from the UK division because that's not really set yet. So it's just those. But everyone will be available, and teams could be split up if we want. We'll decide that over the weekend. I'll let you know on specific rules, and then obviously next week we'll say the rules, and then we'll decide. We'll spend part of our episode doing a back and forth kind of draft. Obviously I'll have a notebook or something so we can keep track of who has who, and maybe down the line we could do trades if we want to do how they do the shakeups and stuff. So I was thinking we could do that, and like I said, every week on Facebook, like once a week, we'll do a mock show where we just kind of post. You do your show, I'll do my show. We'll post our individual, the matches that go on, the storylines that happens, any heel turns or something. Kind of make it interesting. Our own little show. It'd be great if you could do like a video game show, but that's we don't have that capability, especially for radio. But and maybe every week on Beyond the Ropes on the show here, we could give like little updates on our show. We won't give obviously the full show stuff, but we'll talk about it a little bit. So something that we can innovate the product a little more and have some more fun with it. Change stuff up a little bit. So so you're on board with it.
Yeah.
You want to be SmackDown, that's cool. I'll be Raw. Again, you could make your show 3 hours. I don't care. That's fine. We'll make it fair. We'll each get the same amount of wrestlers. I'll go through the roster and count like everyone to make sure that we get an equal amount. And it should be really good. So we're signing off here. So next week is going to be our big predictions episode, and maybe we'll do our draft. So thank you for tuning in on this injury news, pretty much report, sad to say. But thank you for tuning in. As always, you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, YouTube, Beyond the Ropes. Find other episodes there. You can find me on Twitter at EthanNV95, and
Rob Flores Media.
Until next time, we'll see you for our predictions episode. Thank you for tuning in. This episode is about to be deleted.